Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crashy, and today we're going to be talking about the jungle, post-patch jungle, but most specifically, we're going to be talking about Talonflame. Now, I gotta say, before we jump into this discussion about Talonflame, definitely stick around for that. I gotta say, I am still just not sure if the jungle meta is going to change. I don't know if the Cinderace nerfs are enough to keep him out of jungle and to keep him trying to be like this hyper carry, monster that just gets all the farm. But I did play some Cinderace and he still feels pretty good. The nerfs don't feel like, I don't want to say they're not recognizable, but it feels like a 5% nerf or something silly like that, and maybe that's okay, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think the overall issue that I have with Cinderace is that he just gets pumped with experience, and that's kind of like the issue with jungle in general. And so it's gonna be interesting to see if any of these changes can kind of close the gap on Cinderace jungle to get some more viable junglers potentially in the jungle. But but so lately I've been playing the new patch. I've played a little bit of Cinderace, I've played Charizard, I've played Absol, I've played Gengar, I've played a little bit of some of the things that have changed. Zeraora still feels really great to me. Gengar feels pretty decent. I know that there's some kind of a bug going on. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked into that too much. I've only played him like a couple games. And Charizard in the jungle feels really good. But I have to say again, I'm not a believer of Absol. I do not think that this character is going in the right direction. I think that the issue with Absol is that he's just this early game monster, and it makes sense that like you would maybe want to have a kind of character that can do that, but he falls off a cliff so hard like in the mid game, and there's just not much good scaling for this character to have any kind of an impact in the late game, that it just becomes a big risk to run Absol. And so yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of an Absol hater. I'm gonna be completely honest in that right, but I do think that the other speedsters feeling pretty good with a question mark over Gengar, because I'm not really sure what's going on there. But let's talk about Talonflame. So I've played about a handful of games as Talonflame, and I gotta say, this Pokemon is feeling a little bit insane. If you guys haven't played it yet, if you didn't look at the patch notes, Talonflame received a buff to Aerial Ace, Aerial Ace Plus, Fly, and Acrobatics, which Acrobatics is one of his basic moves, so his early game clear and his early game potential is a little bit stronger, which is really nice. And honestly, Talonflame's clear is like super fast. It's kind of nuts how fast you can be with this character, which means that you could potentially fit in more ganks and just be around the map a little bit more. I don't think that his early game fighting is the greatest. Like, if you run into an early game Cinderace or an early game Zeraora, that may still be a little bit tough to deal with. But what I do think I like about this character compared to, like, say, Absol, is that he scales into the late game pretty well. I'm not exactly sure, I didn't do any of the testing myself. I was going to, but I ended up deciding against it because I was just super tired. I didn't do any of the side-by-side testing myself, but I have seen some of the videos. The damage on his new abilities like Aerial Ace Plus, and Fly is very high. Like, it seems like there's a lot of good trade potential there. If you can get into the backline and dive reliably, there's a lot of damage to be done. And ultimately, again, I think that the biggest thing that you have to look at when you're putting a character into the jungle, you have to remember that they're going to be the most, like, the max level, like the highest level character in the game, as long as your game is going well. And you need them to be able to really make some positive changes, like to really impact change. I think that I'm not gonna lie, there could even be a meta around the corner where we start always just running whoever the strongest Pokemon is. I mean, that's kind of what it is right now, but we'll see how much that actually becomes a prevalent thing. But Talonflame, I'm pretty impressed. I had the opportunity to play him. I had the opportunity to use Fly in a really interesting way. It's a disengage tool, it's an initiation tool. You can use it to steal different objectives. Using his ult around the map, you got to be careful not to get it stuck on some things, because I'm still trying to learn that, because I never really played a ton of Talonflame in the past. But Talonflame feeling pretty awesome, and I'm definitely excited about it. As far as some of the other changes, like Eldegoss, I did take a look at her nerfs and things. That seems pretty good. It feels like the game is maybe a little bit more balanced, but I think, we're hours into this patch, like a half a day into this patch almost, and it's just way too early to tell. But that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, and I'd definitely love to know your thoughts as well. So what have you guys been playing in the patch currently? What are you feeling about it? We can talk about anything, but I really wanted to put a little bit of an emphasis on Talonflame today, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in the position where I think that Talonflame could be like nuts. Like, I'm excited to see if Talonflame catches on. I'm excited to continue playing Talonflame and trying some different things out. I've been using the Scope Lens, the Muscle Band, and Buddy Barrier on him, but I'm thinking about maybe taking off Scope Lens and going for like a Focus Band and just trying to be a little bit more durable whenever I'm in the back line. I gotta test that out a little bit more to see if I think that the extra crit and the damage is worth it, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on it, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear it. Like I said, Talonflame feels pretty good. Charizard feels pretty good to me. Garchomp was never really bad, so I think that if Cinderace does kind of lose a little bit of favor in the jungle, then we could see a little bit more Garchomp play, and Machamp as well. Machamp still feels pretty solid. I'm not worried about Machamp at all, but yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. So as always, friends, be sure to be kind to one another, tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.